Now, let's take a look at Luxembourg's economy. In the 1970s, a mixed trade environment was formalized into what's known as the Luxembourg model. This model is a tripartite partnership between employers, unions, and the government. The primary currency is the euro. Prior to 2002, the French influence was evident, and the currency was the French franc. According to the Economic Freedom Index, Luxembourg and the U.S. have a very similar economic freedom rating. Currently, Luxembourg's gross national income per capita with PPP purchasing power parity exceeds that of the U.S. After the 2008 worldwide market crash, Luxembourg was impacted by the decline in the market and uncertainty surrounding the future. In 2011, inflation had reached 3.7%. As the markets recovered and consumer confidence grew, inflation has steadily declined, and in 2013, U.S. inflation surpassed that of Luxembourg, and as of 2015, inflation in Luxembourg is 0.1%. Luxembourg has a stable, thriving, diversified economy. It has the highest gross domestic product per capita according to the International Monetary Fund. It has over 150 banks, reflecting the strength in financial services. Luxembourg hosts many multinational headquarters, such as Skype, Amazon, and ArcelorMittal are just a few to name. Reviewing the last 10 years, the euro to US dollar has had a higher exchange rate than the euro-Canadian currency exchange. However, in 2014, the Canadian exchange increased, and for the last 2 years, it has had a better rate of exchange than the US dollar.
Okay, so the private sector is about 60% of the economy, of which nearly 40% is the banking and the investment industry and all that is connected with it. And only 20% is the rest of the private industry.
The trade freedom scale is a composite of the measure of absence of tariffs and the non-tariff barriers that affect imports and exports. The scale also reflects the markets that are unregulated, which impacts competition, and as a result, growth is often seen. There may be two disadvantages to the trade freedom. One, competition may be difficult for smaller markets to compete. Another disadvantage is that free trade can lead to exploitation. The average score of the world is 75 out of a 100-point scale. Luxembourg free trade scale is currently at 88 compared to the U.S. score of 87. There are a few trends that countries have that have a high trade freedom score. Number one, they have a higher per capita income. Number two, they have lower incidence of hunger in the country. And number three, those countries have clean. In viewing Luxembourg's top 10 imports and exports, majority of them overlap, which is ironic. The imports that are not in the top 10 export list include oil and minerals and aircrafts. The only unique export not listed as a top 10 in imports is the dairy products. In all, Luxembourg's thriving economy is as a result of diversified economy, decreasing inflation, low debt, and a tripartite partnership between employers, unions, and the government.